That's your excuse? You need help, Fred. Get some help. You need to go back to your own mother. You still have glasses of milk to drink. Apologize to them because you have clearly failed them. Never do this again. You need to go back to your own mother as well, Fred. Leave me and leave my house right now. I can't be with you anymore. Hi, I'm Kyla, Fred's wife, and let me tell you about the time my husband got so famous on TV, but for all the wrong reasons. It was a regular day at home when I noticed Fred returned from his work, his face flushed with a mix of anger and shock. I greeted him with a smile, but something was clearly bothering him. Welcome home, honey. You look distressed. What's going on? Do you want to share what's on your mind?
Kyla, I overheard something today. Something I never expected to hear.
Really? What did you hear? He hesitated for a moment before he revealed the shocking truth.
I heard whispers about our boss having an affair with a subordinate, and they did it in his office.
Oh my. Are you sure, Fred? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. His boss, someone he had admired and respected, got involved in such a scandalous act. For a moment there, I hoped there might be some misunderstanding.
I saw them, Kyla. I saw them going into his office, and when I passed by later, I heard things.
That's awful. What are you going to do? Fred's anger simmered as he grappled with what he had witnessed. He couldn't fathom how his boss, who was supposed to be his role model, had betrayed his own commitments. The more he thought about it, the more he became determined to take action.
I can't just stand by and let this slide. If he's going to act this way, he should face the consequences. No matter how powerful he is, no one is above the law.
I understood his frustration, but I couldn't help but feel so proud of him for doing the right thing. However, I also knew that getting involved in such a sensitive matter could have serious repercussions. Fred, be careful. You know what this could mean, right?
I know, Kyla, but I can't stay silent. I need to do what's right. Not just for us, but for everyone else affected by his actions.
With that resolve, Fred decided to gather whatever evidence he could discreetly and report his boss's affair to the Human Resources Department. He was determined to seek justice for the subordinate involved and uphold the integrity of the workplace. As days passed, Fred's report led to a thorough investigation by the HR department. His boss's misconduct couldn't be swept under the rug, and the truth began to emerge. All right, we appreciate your honesty. We'll conduct a discreet investigation to look into this matter further. Rest assured, we take such allegations seriously and we will handle it appropriately.
Thank you so much for this. I just wanted to ensure that the workplace remains fair and that everyone is treated with respect.
I understand, Fred. We'll do our best to address the situation promptly and fairly. The office atmosphere became tense as rumors circulated about the impending investigation. Colleagues whispered about the scandal and uncertain about their boss's future and its effect on everyone involved. Finally, the investigation reached its conclusion and the news of Fred's boss's affair spread like a wildfire. The shockwaves reverberated throughout the company and beyond. The affair, once hidden in secrecy, was now exposed to the public eye, leaving many stunned and appalled.
Breaking news. Renowned business tycoon and influential figure Mark Roberts is at the center of a shocking scandal. Allegations of an affair with a subordinate have surfaced, tarnishing his once pristine reputation. That's right, Laura. The news of the affair, coupled with coercion allegations, has sent shockwaves through the corporate world. Mark Roberts, who was once admired and respected, now faces immense public scrutiny. Many are wondering how such a powerful figure could abuse his position of authority in such a way. And let's not forget the impact on his personal life. His family and loved ones are undoubtedly reeling from these revelations.
Mark Roberts has yet to release a statement, but with mounting evidence and public outcry, his reputation continues to plummet. It remains to be seen how he will address these serious allegations. Our news team has an exclusive interview with Jane, who shed light on the disturbing events that unfolded behind closed doors. Her emotional account has struck a chord with many, sparkling discussion about power dynamics in the workplace and the importance of creating a safe environment for all employees.
Maria, we have heard about the recent scandal involving your boss. Can you share your side of the story?
Well, I did have a relationship with my boss, but it was far from consensual. He coerced me into it, and I felt pressurized to comply to protect my job.
That's a serious allegation. Can you explain how he coerced you?
He threatened to fire me, and I didn't agree to the relationship. I was scared and didn't know what to do. I felt trapped, so I went along with it.
And did he promise you anything in return for complying?
Yes, he promised me job security, a higher salary, and a promotion within the company. I thought it would help my career, but it was all a lie.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Maria. We'll be sure to follow up on this matter and root for justice as it unfolds.
Fred and I found ourselves glued to the television screen, absorbing every update with concern. The revelations about his boss were difficult to digest.
I never thought our workplace could be entangled in such a mess.
We continued watching the news unfold, discussing the implication of the revelations. Suddenly, Fred's phone chimed with an email notification. He glanced down and saw an unexpected message from the news network.
Kyla, look at this. I've been invited for a live online interview tomorrow to discuss my first-hand knowledge of the situation.
Wow, they want to hear your perspective on all of this? Are you going to do it?
I know, right? I guess they asked around the office and they pointed the news network to me because I was the one who reported it anyway. I think I have to accept it as well. This is a chance to shed more light on what happened. It's also an opportunity to stand up against misconduct and protect others from going through what Maria experienced.
As he prepared for the upcoming interview, Fred knew that his words would carry a significant impact as soon as he steps into the spotlight. My husband was determined to show this opportunity to make a difference, to ensure that the truth prevailed and justice was served. The moment of the live online interview arrived and Fred prepared himself for the momentous event. I was busy with my own busy schedule and had left for work earlier that day. Fred set up his computer, ensuring everything was ready for the interview. Just before the scheduled time, I called him to wish him good luck. "Hey Fred, I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I'll be watching you on the news. You've got this."
Thanks, Kyla. I wish you could be here, but it is probably better this way. I don't want to be distracted during the interview.
I know you will do great. Just remember to stay true to yourself and speak from the heart. Fred took a deep breath and connected to the live interview. As the screen lit up with the news network's logo, he knew that this was his chance to share his side of the story with the world. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Fred, an employee who witnessed the scandal involving his boss, Mark Roberts. Fred, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you walk us through what you witnessed and why you felt the need to report it to HR?
Sure. I overheard conversations about my boss having an affair with one of his subordinates, and later I saw them together in his office. I couldn't stand by and let this kind of behavior go unchecked, especially from someone in a position of power.
That's commendable, Fred. It takes courage to come forward with such allegations. Can you tell us about the impact this had on you personally and professionally?
It was a difficult decision to make. Personally, it weighed heavily on my mind, but I believed it was the right thing to do for the well-being of everyone involved.
It is truly shocking and deeply troubling. Nobody should be subjected to such treatment in the workplace. I stand with Maria and you. I hope this investigation leads to justice being served. What message do you have for others who might find themselves in a similar situation?
I would say don't be afraid to speak up. We need to create an environment where everyone feels safe and respected.
Thank you, Fred, for sharing your... The connection glitched momentarily, causing the screen to freeze.
Hello? Hello? I guess the interview is done.
He thought the call has ended, but to his horror, the audio and camera remained live. Before the network could cut off the feed, the world witnessed a scene unfold before their eyes. A young woman came in and appeared beside him on camera. She had short height and a baby face, unmistakably underage. She gave him a sly smile and leaned in to kiss him on the lips. She whispered provocatively, her words audible to everyone watching. "How's the next CEO?"
With Mark Roberts down, my dreams are finally getting easier and easier to reach. Can't wait to hear the public after this interview. I tore that dude to pieces.
The entire world gasped in shock, realizing that Fred's intention might not have been as altruistic as they seemed. The revelations cast doubt on his motives for reporting the boss to HR, and accusations of ulterior motives flooded social media and news forums. It was clear that he had manipulated the situation to his advantage, using the scandal as a stepping stone to fulfill his ambitions. The news network quickly cut off the feed, but the damage was done. The scandalous kiss and the woman's words were now viral, and Fred found himself at the center of a new storm of controversy. Fred's face turned crimson, realizing the gravity of the situation. He never expected his personal life to be exposed on live television, and he knew he had jeopardized his credibility and integrity in the eyes of the public. Meanwhile, for me, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My heart raced with anger, hurt, and disbelief as I hurried home to confront my husband. I needed answers, and I needed them now. Entering our home, I found Fred pacing nervously in the living room. His face turned pale as he saw me, knowing that the time for explanation had come. At that moment, the young mistress emerged from another room, clearly taken aback by my presence.
You're still here? Wow.
I was just leaving, she stammered, realizing that her presence was no longer welcome. Why, Fred? Why? Why did you have to do all this? She's underage. It's sickening and it's illegal.
I'm sorry. I really didn't know what I was thinking. It's just that she's young and new and fun.
That's your excuse?
You need help, Fred. Get some help.
I saw the young mistress crying in the corner. You need to go back to your own mother. You still have glasses of milk to drink. Apologize to them because you have clearly failed them. Never do this again. Her face flushed with embarrassment, and she quickly scurried away, realizing the gravity of the situation she had entangled herself in. You need to go back to your own mother as well, Fred. Leave us and leave my house right now. I can't be with you anymore. Fred struggled to find the right words to apologize and explain his actions. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I turned away from him, unable to look at the man I once loved. As I said those words, a part of me hoped that he would fight for us, that he would show genuine remorse and take real steps to change. But I couldn't ignore the pain he had caused to me, to the young girl, and to everyone else. Fred nodded, defeated and broken. He slowly gathered his belongings and left, his steps heavy with the weight of his mistake. As the door closed behind him, I collapsed on the couch, overwhelmed by a mix of emotions. It was the end of a chapter in my life. I knew whatever came next, I have to move forward without Fred. The damage to his reputation was severe, and the public's trust in him had been shattered. The revelation overshadowed the initial scandal surrounding his boss, turning the spotlight on Fred's own actions and decisions. People called him out for his double standards and for exploiting his position for personal gain, all while preaching about ethical behavior and accountability. The age-related power dynamic with his young mistress drew particular scorn, as many saw it as an abuse of authority and exploitation of vulnerability. Wow, talk about a major hypocrite. Fred had the nerve to preach about ethics and accountability while he was involved in such an inappropriate relationship with a literal child. You're not the hero you think you are, but disgusting.
Fred was quick to point fingers at others, but now we see that he's no different from the people he condemned. His words of fighting for justice were nothing but empty rhetoric. He owes everyone an apology and needs to face the consequences. Someone sue this guy.
So Fred is a whistleblower, eh? More like blow your own cover kind of guy. How does he sleep at night with all this hypocrisy? Looks like he took a masterclass in talking the talk but forgot to walk the walk. Fred's live interview also reached the higher-ups in the company he worked for. In an emergency meeting, the company's executives swiftly made a unanimous decision. Fred's employment with the company was terminated immediately. He was handed a termination letter outlining the reasons for his dismissal, and his access to company resources was revoked. The young mistress's parents were also shocked and appalled that their daughter had been taken advantage of by someone clearly too old for their daughter. Filled with a sense of protectiveness for their daughter, they filed a lawsuit against Fred, seeking accountability for his exploitative behavior and the harm he had caused to their family. And with that, Fred proved that even the best scripted news segments couldn't compete with a real-life drama. It hurts, but thanks, I guess, to the news for keeping us informed, even if it has to be my husband's adultery.